Wow. Where to begin? Um, France. It's not my first time being in France, but it is my first time being in Champagne. And, a lot of things about what I thought about Champagne and the where Champagne is and what Champagne is has really changed. Champagne isn't a place. It's not an area on a map. It's not a series of villages and towns. It's more than that. It's something magical. And every area, every region, every person you meet adds to that experience and makes this place truly magical. And I have spent the past week with the Thuillier Filles as the guest of Claudette Thuillier, the owner of the vineyard and of the Champagne house, and also one of my partners, meaning one of the champagnes that Everyday Bubbly imports. And this was harvest. And most people don't have a clue as to what goes on during harvest. And it is an absolutely incredible experience. It is everybody working so hard, so diligent, so passionately to beat the clock, to beat the weather, to make sure that the grapes are coming in and they're in good condition, making sure that the press is working right, making sure that the yeast going into the fermentation is right, making the decisions on which batch of juice do you keep, which batch of juice do you sell, what grapes are going to be going into what batch. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And to be honest with you, I can't even process how much information I absorbed. But I will say this, that never in my life have I been treated more like a family member than I have here at Thuillier Filles. And every person that I worked with, ate with, and drank with, these people are my family. And it's not a matter of if I'll ever come back. It's a matter of I'm already planning to come back in the spring, and I'm already sorting that out. So with that, I'll give you a little bit of the story. So I was invited by Claudette Thuillier to come and experience harvest. I arrived on Sunday and decided to take a little bit of time and drive through Paris and see some of the sights. And in addition to rugby, I'm also a big cycling fan. And the Tour de France ends every year in Paris on the Place de la Concorde and the Champs-Élysées. And for me, it's always been a bit of a bucket list to actually drive and be on those magical streets where that race takes place and ends. And I wanted to take in some of the sights and see some of the beauty of Paris, which I never got a chance to do on my previous business trips. But I was so excited to get here that I really cut that trip short. I drove into Paris and I hit the sights, and then I hightailed it to Bunay. And I gotta tell you, the drive out here was magic. Once you get outside of Paris, it immediately becomes like country, just like it is back home. But the closer you get to Champagne, the more excitement you feel, the more magic starts to get into the air. And I got here on Sunday afternoon and immediately went right to work. And it was really interesting because maybe 3 people here speak English, and everyone else obviously speaks French. And the language was a challenge at first, but after a few days, everybody starts to understand each other, even if you're not speaking the same language. We all began to get in sync. So the people, the workers, they embrace you immediately. They ask questions about you. They're so interested in who you are, and the surprise that they are talking to an American who has chosen champagne as a career path, who has chosen to embrace this magical liquid in these bottles, and to talk about champagne, to drink champagne, was just magic. And to eat real home-cooked French food. Claudette's mother every day makes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it is the most quintessential, traditional, home-style food. It was magnificent. I have never in my life eaten as well as I have this past week, and I've never worked as hard either. You definitely earn your food and your drink, and champagne flows like a river. But a funny thing, during the day, when people have an aperitif, mostly beer, which I thought was kind of interesting. Here we are surrounded by hundreds of thousands of bottles of champagne, and beer was sort of the choice. But then it kind of hit me, it's very hot. You get some hot days, and the last thing you want is champagne, in your system on a hot day. Beer is actually quite refreshing. So as a rugby player, I obviously enjoyed having the beer too. It was just magic. Working the press, picking grapes, talking to the chef de cave. The chef de cave here is a 25-year-old young man who Claudette has entrusted with the making of her family's champagne. And we're going to interview him later today, and you'll get a chance to meet him and talk to him. And I'll tell you, this man is a genius. He's passionate. He's very serious, but he loves what he is doing, and he takes pride in every single grape that gets pressed and processed. I can do, it would take me 50 videos to give you an idea on what it was like, but needless to say, you embraced his family here. Everyone treats you like family, and everyone treats you like they've known you since you were born. And I can honestly say I have made lifelong friends, and my life will not be complete unless I see these people again. So it is my mission to come back as often as I'm welcome and take part and work and bring my family and take part in this magical time. That was Sunday. Sunday, it was immediately right to work, and the food was just so incredible. And everyone celebrates at dinner. It's champagne and beer and ratafia, which I'll explain later. And it was just a magical time. Not speaking French very well, and most people not speaking English. It was awkward at first, but that melted away within minutes. And after that, it was just, hey, we'll figure out a way to communicate. And so Monday was more the same, was pressing and working in the actual, not in the vineyard so much, but in the actual winery, doing pressing, obviously, and not blending, because that's a different process, but doing things like the extraction, the adding the yeast, the fermentation, watching the process, what grapes are going to be what grapes are going to be sold to the customers for the juice, what grapes are going to go into which one of these styles of champagne, constantly tasting. And you would think that it's just grape juice. It is not. It is truly not. The grapes that are grown here are something different, and you really do taste the minerality. You really do taste the clay. You taste the chalk. You taste, remember, this area was, 200 million years ago was an ocean, and you taste that. You taste that in the grapes. You taste that in everything. Tuesday was a bit more out in the fields doing some picking, and earned my first little scar. The shears are quite sharp, and I nicked myself, and needless to say, I bled like a stuck pig. It was a very deep cut, and if I were home, I probably would have gotten a couple of stitches because it was that bad. But you press on, and no pun intended, and again, more food, more champagne, more laughs. Everyone here jokes and teases, and not in that negative way, but in that amazing way where they're teasing you because they like you, they embrace you, they learn everything about you, and they open up themselves to you, and it is so beautiful. I mean, it is just so beautiful. And then on Wednesday, I went to visit a couple of champagne houses that I work with. One was Bouquin du Pont. Stopped in very briefly to see them. Nobody there spoke English, and it was, again, very, very difficult. But at the same time, when you're talking champagne, it's synonymous. We all understand. We all were able to discuss the nuances of the champagne, what was in it. I mean, the words change from not understanding his French, him not understanding my English, to both of us being able to discuss the complexity of a variety, the grape, the aging. I mean, it was fantastic, and it only took minutes for us to be able to find that synergy. I also took an opportunity to visit a potential, at the time, partner who is now going to be joining the list of champagnes that we are going to be importing, Francis Orban. And what makes Francis Orban so wonderful is that it is a 100% Meunier grape. I came across I did a video actually of Francis's Meunier, and it was magnificent. And extremely busy time for these growers. I mean, when I say extremely busy, I mean it's extremely busy, but these people took the time out of their day to meet with me and do tastings and bring me into their family home and discuss their history and discuss their methods and their strategy and their philosophies. And he was an amazing person, and it was so wonderful to sit with him and hear about his family and his history and his grape and taste his champagne. And it was just magic, and I cannot thank him enough for taking that time out of his day. And I cannot thank Bouquin du Pont. Dominic, thank you. Your patience and your tender care of me and giving me the opportunity to experience your house was magnificent. And I took a day, I took some of that time also to drive around Avise and to see the Frank Bonville facility. I didn't get a chance to meet with them, but it was still beautiful to see it. Thursday, I got to go and visit with Bernard Lanclosse. And I have to tell you something. I had never met a person who was more in touch with his grapes, with his vines, with his earth, with his philosophy, with his people. The man was just amazing to talk to. He didn't speak any English. His son-in-law, Victor, who also is in charge of export for the company, he accompanied us during a tour of the vineyard, of the facility, of the vines. And I gotta tell you, he's growing vines that are reaching 10 feet tall. He's created this variety of grapevines that are brand new, and they are colossal. Most vines are about 4.5 feet tall. These vines are 10 feet tall, and the grapes are growing, and I had never seen more perfect. I mean, when I say he's growing perfection. Okay, absolute perfection. We dined, we ate lunch. I ate lunch with his family and his head workers. And my God, it was too much. It was too much. It was just too much. And I am so proud to be bringing their champagne into the U.S. I'm so proud of the ability to work with them and have a relationship with them. It is magic. I'm going to do an entire video on all four of the houses that I visited. But I wanted to do a video today. It's my last full day here because I leave first thing in the morning. And again, the beauty. And at the end of harvest, each champagne house throws a party. And last night was Thuillier Filles celebration for the end of their harvest. And good grief, it was such an experience to be part of this intimate celebration. This everybody had worked so hard. Everybody had bled and sweat and energy and lack of sleep and bumps, bruises, and cuts and bee stings, and everybody finally was over, and we ate and we sang and we danced and we laughed, and it was magic. It was absolute magic. It was just magic. These people at Thuillier Filles, they are family. And I will never be able to extend gratitude enough to them for taking me in and giving me this opportunity to be a part of their lives and their harvest, and to share with me their food and their passion and their love. And wow, that's, there'll be more videos over the next few weeks as I sort of comb through all the video and the photos, and I'll go more in depth on the experiences and try my best to show you what it was like and give you an idea on what this experience was like. And one really important highlight, everybody who was there when this happened agreed, and I'm going to say with confidence, I am I am the first Black American, actually not even just Black American, they're quite confident I'm the first American to teach a young French girl how to saber a bottle, not once, but twice. And it was absolutely amazing. And to tell the story, and it's very quick, the first time I sabered a bottle here, I asked Claudette, and Claudette's, of course, go ahead. And her mother goes into the house and gets this very old, real, honest to God saber. And I'm willing to bet that this is a saber that has been passed down in their family for generations, that this was the sword of a family member who was an officer in the French army, and hands me this sword. And the pressure was on, because I don't think anybody believed that I was capable of doing it, and it just came right off. And for the rest of the night, I'm just sabering bottles, and there's this one young lady who is an intern, and she's learning how to do champagne making, and she was just looking at me sabering the bottle. I asked, have you ever sabered a bottle? And she spoke very, very good English, and she says, no. And I'm like, I'm going to teach you. And everybody had seen me saber a bottle, and they were fine with that. But when it came to teaching her, it was like, whoa, wait a minute, this is dangerous. Don't do it. No, I got it. And on her first try, I taught her how to do it, showed her what to do, and came right off. So I had that experience not once, but twice. And I got a video of it, and when I go more in detail about the trip, and I talk more specifically about my experience with the Thuillier farm. I'll show that video, and it's pretty fun. So listen, thank you all again, and I hope that this wasn't too boring. It's not my usual video. It's my last day here, and I really wanted you to see my eyes and hear my voice, the contentment, the happiness, the joy, the pride, the astonishment that I have, to see that I'm overwhelmed with emotions, not just one, but many emotions. And hey, champagne every day. Thank you.